Japanese society often tends to forget about the original purpose and focus only on the means. I think this is one of the main reasons why harassment has developed in a negative way in Japan. Minasan konnichiwa, and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. I've made many videos talking about the horrible working environments in Japan. As a matter of fact, some studies point out that Japan has the world's lowest levels of satisfaction in all fields of work, leisure, and salary. One of the major problems at Japanese workplaces is young workers being harassed by their bosses and superiors. There have been movements and new laws enacted to try to solve it, but recently, pointing out harassment is becoming a new form of harassment, and it's starting to create even more problems. Today in Japan, there are actually more than 100 kinds of harassment. But what does that even mean? So today, I'll explain about the situation of harassment in Japan, and then talk about how everything in Japan is starting to become harassment today. In the latter half of the video, I will give you a quiz of the 10 most unique harassments and their meanings, so I hope you can enjoy this video till the end. This video will especially be useful for those who are hoping to work or study in Japan someday, to deepen your understanding towards the situation of modern society. Please let me know in the comments which harassment you found was the most weird or strange. In this channel, you can take a closer look at Japanese traditional culture, tips on traveling to Kyoto, and social problems in Japan. So learners and lovers of Japanese language and culture, be sure to subscribe to enjoy more content. それでは本日も参りましょう。First of all, let's talk about the following 3 things to deepen your understanding towards harassment in Japan. 1. How harassment started to gather attention in Japan. 2. What kind of measures are taken to solve it. 3. Why the number of harassments is growing. 1. How harassment started to gather attention in Japan. It is said that harassment in the workplace started to become a problem in Japan in 1989, when the first lawsuit against a company for sexual harassment was filed. Since then, the word harassment has been defined in laws, such as the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, which aims to create an equal society for men and women and has become an issue of human rights. In the 2000s, a term unique to Japan, power harassment, was introduced to describe bullying and harassment based on power and positional advantages in the workplace. In Japanese, the word is abbreviated to pawahara. Specifically, it includes various forms of harassment, such as physical assault, threatening or insulting verbal abuse, ignoring and interfering with work. Saying it in English sounds a little bit weird, but sexual harassment and this power harassment are the 2 most well-spoken kinds of harassment in Japan. It could be said such a problem was born because Japan is a society with very strict hierarchical relationships. 2. What kind of measures are taken to solve it? In recent years, as harassment has become more and more of an issue, laws for dealing with harassment are being made and improving. For example, the Power Harassment Prevention Act was enacted in 2020, which defines power harassment by law and obliges companies to take measures to prevent it. It specifically requires companies to take preventive measures, such as stipulating a policy against power harassment and setting up a consulting service for employees. Although there are no legally defined penalties for violating this law, if the company does not comply with the public authorities' guidance and warnings, its name will be announced in public. Naturally, this will have a negative impact on the company's social reputation and trust. However, except for major harassments, such as power harassment and sexual harassment, there are no strict definitions. Other kinds of harassment are gradually being recognized based on the results of court decisions. 3. Why the number of harassments is growing. Even with the new laws laid out, the number of victims of harassment is actually increasing year by year in Japan. A survey conducted by ISSP, the International Social Survey Program, in 2015, also found out that Japan ranked third in the world in the number of workers who said that they have experienced being harassed before. The reason behind this rather large increase in harassment is due to the rising number of working women and the stagnant economic situation in Japan. Until around 2000s, it was common for women to quit their jobs after getting married or giving birth to a child. So they basically only worked at a company for a few years or so. However, nowadays, more and more women have been working for longer periods of time, and it is said that this may be making it easier for problems such as sexual harassment to occur. Also, as I explained in the video, Cheap Japan. Japan is the only country in the world where the economy has been declining for more than 30 years. This has led to an increase in the number of people being fired from jobs that were supposed to be absolutely guaranteed by lifetime employment, therefore causing anxiety throughout society. Some say that more and more bosses are harassing their subordinates from the stress of thinking they might get fired. However, others say that it is not harassment that has skyrocketed in recent years, but rather the result of society becoming easier for workers to speak up about it. This is because, according to a different survey by the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, the percentage of workers who answered that they have strong anxiety, worries, or stress in their work or personal life, and problems regarding human relations in the workplace has not changed much from the past. Now that we've understood about the situation of harassment in Japan, let's jump into today's main topic, harassment going out of control. Discussing harassment started out as a way to improve ethics and human rights in Japan. However, recently it has somehow started to walk on its own and is treated as some sort of wordplay. Today, tens and even hundreds of harassment has been created, and almost every form of communication has been said to be a kind of harassment. There are even many TV series and comedies that make jokes about the creative harassments. Then, let's do a quiz of the 10 unique harassments in Japan that are especially surprising. I will say them in the abbreviated form in Japanese, so please try to guess what it is about. 1. Akahara. Academic harassment. Harassment by looking down on someone due to their educational background. 2. Aruhara. Alcohol harassment. Harassment by forcing someone to drink alcohol even when they can't. 3. Eahara. Air conditioning harassment. Harassment by not using or using too much air conditioning while ignoring colleagues who are hot or cold. 4. Karahara. Karaoke harassment. Harassment by forcing someone to sing at karaoke even when they don't want to. 5. Sumehara. Smell harassment. Harassment by making others feel uncomfortable due to bad odor. 6. Sekahara. Second harassment. Harassment in which the victim gets harassed by a colleague or supervisor after asking for help about the original harassment. 7. Burahara. Blood harassment. Harassment by discriminating others based on their blood type. 8. Sohara. Social harassment. Harassment on social media, such as repeatedly trying to connect, forcing others to like, or sniffing around others' personal life. 9. Labuhara. Love harassment. Harassment by talking about topics related to love and making others feel uncomfortable. 10. Harahara. Harassment. Harassment that excessively claims the actions of words of others to be harassment. Just like how we continue to follow old customs, such as exchanging business cards or upper and lower seats, even though it is not efficient for business. Japanese society often tends to forget about the original purpose and focus only on the means. I think this is one of the main reasons why harassment has developed in a negative way in Japan. The original purpose of the discussion of harassment was to create a comfortable work environment for as many people as possible, but this has been forgotten, has become a tool to just blame each other. Of course, there are some kinds of harassment that really have to be solved immediately. But when everything is called harassment so unconditionally, even those who want to have healthy communication can't do or say anything to anyone anymore. This is exactly the harassment I mentioned earlier. To speak of extremes, because harassment is subjective, it is possible to say, as many people, as many harassments. Rather than just attacking each other for miscommunication using the word harassment, I think what is really needed is an effort to compromise with the common goal of creating a better work environment. Then lastly, today's conclusion. Workplace harassment in Japan started to become a problem in 1989, when the first lawsuit against a company for sexual harassment was filed. Since then, harassment, such as the Japanese power harassment, has been defined in laws, and measures have been taken to improve the situation. However, the number of victims of harassment is actually increasing year by year in Japan, due to the increasing number of working women, the stagnant economic situation, and more people being able to speak up about it. Discussing harassment started out as a way to improve ethics and human rights in Japan, but recently it has started to walk on its own, and tens and hundreds of harassments have been created. The original purpose of pointing out harassment has been forgotten and has become a tool to just blame each other. Rather than just attacking each other for each miscommunication using the word harassment, I think what is really needed is an effort to compromise with the common goal of creating a better work environment. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If this video helped you to deepen your understanding towards modern society in Japan, please hit the like button to help me boost this video to more people. And my goal is to achieve 1 million subscribers by January 2023, so your help would mean a lot. And please check out our sub-channel and membership through the link inside the description box. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video. 皆さんどうもありがとうございました。I really feel that recently the problem is flipping over, if that makes sense. Like in the past, the bigger problem was, again, the bosses and superiors harassing the subordinates. But through my studying, I really feel that there are actually recently, very recently, I think there are more problems of subordinates not doing their job kind of thing. They're just, again, blaming other people and, asking for their rights and not getting their own jobs done. I want to give you an example. I actually have, I can say, a entrepreneur, a president of a company that I really respect, and he actually does YouTube lives sometimes and stuff like that. And on one of his YouTube lives, there was a person who gave him a super chat, and he was asked, Mr. Let's call him Mr. I don't know, A, whatever, yeah. The president of my company, he doesn't listen to our opinions. He doesn't, what should I say, care about us, or he doesn't do what we say, what we ask him to do. Like, what should we do with this president of this company? And then the man that I respect, the entrepreneur that I respect, he answered to the super chat. He said, well, you need to first of all understand that you are hired by that president. And you are there to work for him. You're there to get the job done that he asked you to do. If you want a leader that completely obeys everything you say, you don't need that leader. Why don't you just vote for everything and you take the responsibility of the leader, right? The reason why you're able to be protected as one of the workers and employees is because that stupid or dumb or not listening or not caring president that you call that person is because that person is taking the all the responsibility as the leader and the president for you, right? So saying that, oh my gosh, I hate my boss and I hate my president because he or she doesn't do as what we say, but we don't want to take responsibility for the company, or like, for example, if the company has any debts, no, we're not going to be taking responsibility for it. That means you're not taking responsibility for anything, right? So I really feel, especially people in my generations in their 20s are kind of coming into this situation, because everyone is like standing up and saying their rights, and they're starting to forget their responsibilities. Of course, obviously, subordinates have their responsibilities too. So I really feel, of course, it's a balance. Of course, there are terrible superiors and bosses that really need to change, or for example, violating laws and such. But at the same time, again, as I said in the main part of the video, it's always a balance of the two sides.